It's July, which is great unless you have a phone. In which case, July is now a monthly reminder that everyone else is living a significantly more photogenic life than you. Your phone shows you a beach, then a rooftop, then someone's golden hour dinner with friends who all look like they were specifically cast for the role of people having a great summer. You close the app. Mature decision, you open it again 90 seconds later, because apparently that's how long your emotional resolve lasts now. Same beach, same rooftop, same aggressively happy people. And somewhere between the third scroll and the fourth, a small, deeply inconvenient thought arrives. Why does everyone's summer look like that? And mine looks like this. Not a crisis, not a breakdown, just a quiet, slightly humiliating feeling that you are somehow doing summer wrong. The worst part? You don't even know what doing it right would look like. You just know it probably involves leaving your house more than twice a week. And currently, that's not happening. Here's what makes this particular experience so impressive in its efficiency. Nobody did anything to you. Nobody called and said, just so you know, your summer is objectively worse than mine. You did all of this to yourself, in your own home, on your own phone, voluntarily. You curated your own emotional damage and then acted surprised by the results. That's almost a skill. Psychologists have a name for this, obviously. They have a name for everything. It's called social comparison. Leon Festinger figured this out in 1954. 70 years of research to confirm. You look at what other people have and feel things about it. Science. The summer version is upward social comparison. You compare yourself to people who appear to be doing better, and your brain, helpfully, lovingly, with zero regard for your mental health, files all of this under evidence that you are falling behind. Very supportive organ, the brain, really in your corner. Here's the thing about what you're actually seeing. What your phone shows you is not someone's summer. It's their highlights department. A real summer looks like waking up at 11 because you were watching something you wouldn't recommend to anyone. Eating cereal at 2 p.m. because going outside felt ambitious. Nobody posts that. Nobody posts the fridge visit, where you open it, find nothing that excites you, close it, and then open it again 30 seconds later as if the refrigerator might have restocked itself out of respect for your current emotional state. What you're comparing your entire existence to is a collection of 30-second windows from other people's lives. Filtered, curated, shot during the 1 hour of the day when everyone looks like they belong in a lifestyle magazine they didn't ask to be in. That's you losing a competition you invented against people who don't know they're competing. Then comes the spiral, because once the comparison starts, your brain doesn't just note it and move on like a reasonable, well-adjusted organ. It builds a case. Exhibit A. Everyone went somewhere this summer. Exhibit B. You have not. Exhibit C. At this rate, you will be the person who describes their summer as honestly kind of restful, which is what people say when they're too proud to say they stayed home. By the end of the scroll session, you have determined that you are socially behind, existentially delayed, and quite possibly the only adult in your age group who did not attend at least one event in the last 3 weeks involving a rooftop, a sunset, and people who naturally own linen. Your brain is extremely fast at this, efficient, dedicated, completely uninterested in your happiness, and then comes phase 2. Which is somehow worse, because your brain doesn't just stop at feeling bad. It decides to fix the situation. Productively, immediately. You are going to have a summer too, starting now. So you text 3 people. Anyone up for something this weekend? 2 don't reply. 1 says maybe, which is the adult version of no. You Google fun things to do this summer. You find a list, you open 4 of them. You read about kayaking, you've never kayaked. You look up kayaking prices. You close the tab. You look up rooftop bars. You look at the photos. You look at the prices. You close the tab. You go back to Instagram because the plan to have experiences has been replaced by more efficient research into other people having experiences. Same result, 30% more screen time. But here's where it really gets creative. Some people decide, if you can't have the summer, at least manufacture the evidence of the summer. You go outside, not because you want to go outside, because the light is good. You find the most photogenic corner of your extremely ordinary surroundings. You take 14 photos. You look disappointed in 12 of them. 2 are usable. You apply a filter that adds warmth and removes the parking lot in the background. You write a caption that implies effortless leisure. You post it. You watch the likes. You feel briefly better. You are now also performing summer for someone else who is sitting in their own apartment, feeling like their summer isn't good enough. Congratulations! You have completed the cycle. You are now both the audience and the cast. You are both the person scrolling and the person being scrolled. You are simultaneously the cause and the victim of the exact thing that made you feel bad in the first place. This is FOMO in its final form. Not just the fear of missing out, the exhausting performance of not missing out for people you don't particularly think about on a platform that doesn't care about your summer, so that you can feel like you exist in a version of reality that was specifically designed to make you feel like you don't. Here's what this is actually about. Because it's not really about summer. Summer is just when it's loudest. It's about the feeling that life is supposed to look a certain way by now. That there's a version of you somewhere who's more spontaneous, more social, more present, more in possession of friends who own boats for some reason. And somehow you keep not becoming her. Her summer looks like the photos. Your summer looks like a person slowly developing a very thorough knowledge of what's currently on streaming platforms, which is genuinely useful information. Somebody has to know this, but it doesn't photograph well. And every July you think, next summer will be different. Next summer, you'll actually go. And then July arrives, and here you are with your phone and someone else's beach and the cereal. Here's the actual problem with FOMO. It's not that you're missing out. It's that you've been convinced there's something to miss. Your brain has been trained by years of this to treat other people's highlight reels as the baseline. But that baseline was never real. The beach was real. The photo was constructed. The summer was real. The version you saw was selected. What you're mourning isn't a life you don't have. It's a life that doesn't exist. Not for them, not for anyone. The people in the photos went home afterwards. They also ate cereal at weird hours. They also opened the fridge twice in 30 seconds expecting different results. They just didn't post that part. You're not doing life wrong. You're just living the unfiltered version, the one that's actually yours. The cereal is fine. The ceiling is a perfectly valid thing to stare at. And your summer, quiet, unposted, occasionally restful in ways you're not yet ready to admit were good, is still a summer. It just wasn't made for anyone else's feed. It was just yours. And that, for what it's worth, is enough.